Welcome to Planting Joy Garden. It is finally time to harvest some potatoes. So today we're going to talk about when and how to harvest potatoes and also the easiest way to store them. So let's get started right here. The maturity date of potatoes depend on the variety. So today I will be harvesting some red Norlands. Red Norlands are considered early potatoes and they normally mature in about 70 days. So we're right at 72 days. And as you can see from these small ones, if I would have left them a little bit longer, these little tiny ones would have matured. I really like new potatoes, and so I tend to harvest things like Yukon Gold and red potatoes in 70 days. Okay, so I actually planted 6 red potatoes, red Norland seed potatoes. And hopefully, in this one, although it's turning yellow and kind of died back a little bit, there isn't a whole lot of growth here. Sometimes they're a little deeper, so I will probably have to dig a little deep to get the potatoes out. Now, potatoes are edible at any size, so it can be a full-size potato like this or a very small potato like that. It's edible at any size. And so it's totally okay to harvest them a little early. Now, solarized or green potatoes should not be eaten. In fact, they can make you quite ill. And all potatoes are poisonous for our pets. So I actually have 3 varieties in this bed. I had the red Norlands, I have yellow potatoes, and I also have the pink gypsy or gypsy pink potatoes. So we're going to see how well I did. Usually red Norlands are pretty prolific for me, and we'll just see. Some other things to know about potatoes. It is one of the most popular crops around the world. It's only following rice, wheat, and corn. In fact, potatoes are grown everywhere from mountain slopes to sea level. So it's a very versatile crop that can be grown pretty much anywhere. There's a potato that can grow somewhere in the world. Now, the other thing about potatoes is that nearly every vitamin and nutrient can be found in potatoes that humans need to survive. How to and when to harvest. First, you want to make sure that the greens are mature and that they have flowered. So these greens are still quite green. I could have allowed them to become a little bit more yellow, but as I mentioned, we do have rainy conditions coming. It is best to check your soil. You want to make sure that the soil is dry as you can get it. It's easier to harvest in dry soil because no one really wants to dig around in the mud. So you want to make sure you stop watering your potatoes prior to the day you're going to harvest it. And I find that the best way to harvest potato is with my hands. By manually harvesting with my hands, it is very gentle. I'm less likely to pierce, bruise, or peel a potato. Some of these red Norlands are pretty deep, so I'm really having to shift through the soil. So I'll bring you back so we can see how many potatoes I end up with. I'm going to dig in this area just to make sure there's no yellow potatoes. I have been having problems with grubs, so I want to make sure any place where it has died back that I'm checking to make sure there's no potatoes there. And it seems like the grubs have eaten a big portion. This is a gypsy pink here, so I won't harvest that. We'll leave it attached. Yeah, it seems like the grubs have eaten quite a number of my potatoes. So my yellow potatoes did not produce. So I will give the pink gypsies a little longer to grow because their foliage here is still quite green, but it looks like from the 6 red Norlands I planted, I got 24, varying size, some large, some medium, and some tiny. Of the yellow potatoes, in fact, they were infested by grubs. Of my yellow potatoes, I only got 3. And I do believe I planted 4 seed potatoes. So the yellow potatoes was a fail. This year has not been one of my best years for potatoes. I've been having lots of problems with grubs. So to store them, I'll be placing this bag, and a thunderstorm is on its way. But to store, you absolutely do not want to wash the potato. You want to just kind of gently remove any loose dirt by wiping it off. It's best to harvest the potatoes on a dry day, and also when the soil is dry, because face it, no one wants to dig in the mud. So you actually want to stop watering your potatoes probably a day or 2 before you actually decide to harvest. It'll help the skin to cure. And then you want to store it in a place that's cool, dark, and well ventilated. And so I will be placing these in a brown paper bag to get them to cure for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks in a dark, cool place, the skins will harden and it will make them storable for the long term. So that's it. We harvested the potatoes. It wasn't all I expected, but I'm happy to have them. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Set your mind on the things above and not the things of earth.